There's a fire inside you. You've felt it. It flares up when you hear a speech that hits you deep, when a vision of who you could become blinds you for a moment with hope. It surges when you're tired of being stuck, tired of being overlooked, tired of being ordinary. You feel the call to rise, but then nothing. You return to the same habits, the same distractions, the same quiet betrayal of your own potential. Because that fire, it had no form. Motivation by itself is just a feeling, a spark in the dark. It can light up the room for a second, but unless it finds structure, unless it is contained in something enduring, it dies just as fast. Carl Jung once said, "Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart." Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. But looking inside is not just a poetic invitation, it is a dangerous command. Because what you'll find when you truly look inward is not just potential, but also chaos. Not just desire, but division. Not just fire, but wildfire. And a wildfire, left unchecked, burns everything. That is what unshaped motivation is. It feels like purpose, but it's just fuel. High-octane emotion without direction. And in today's world, we've confused fire for form. We are taught to crave inspiration, to chase dopamine, to wait for the perfect moment when we finally feel like changing. But change doesn't wait for feelings. Change happens when you build something inside yourself that is stronger than your feelings. That something is discipline. Discipline is the furnace. It is the structure that contains the fire, channels it, and turns it into power. Without it, motivation becomes noise, loud, urgent, but meaningless. The tragedy is that most people don't fail because they lack motivation. They fail because they never learned to contain it. They were never taught the language of self-mastery, only the hunger of ambition. They were taught how to dream, but not how to build. They were told to follow their hearts, but not how to direct them. And so they burn out, again and again. Because fire without form doesn't create light, it consumes. Look around. We live in a culture obsessed with beginnings. New Year's resolutions, 30-day challenges, viral morning routines. We love the start, the ignition, but we're terrified of the grind, of repetition, of silence, of structure, because structure isn't glamorous. It doesn't get likes. It doesn't trend, but it's the only thing that transforms raw emotion into real evolution. Structure is what turns chaos into cosmos. And in your own life, this begins when you stop chasing moments of hype and start building systems of truth. That starts by understanding what motivation actually is. Motivation is not magic. It's not some divine signal that today is the day. It's simply your nervous system reacting to a perceived opportunity or threat. It's energy, not strategy. It's a biological flare that says move. But move where? That's what most people never ask. And so they run in circles, fueled by bursts of energy with no compass, no map, no foundation. They start, stop, start again, blame themselves, feel shame, and then scroll for more inspiration. They're not weak, they're untrained. They are motivated without form, inspired but undisciplined, awake but unarmed. Carl Jung taught that all true growth requires confrontation with the self, not just the self you post online, the deeper self, the one beneath the image, beneath the identity, beneath the roles. And that self doesn't need more motivation. It needs structure. It needs a ritual, a rhythm, a reason. It needs a discipline that outlasts emotion. It's easy to feel motivated when the sun is rising, the music is right, and your dreams seem fresh and close. But what happens when nothing moves you? What happens when the spark is gone? Who are you then? because that's the real test. You are not defined by what you feel in your best moments. You are defined by what you do in your lowest ones. That is where the real you shows up, and that real you will either be someone who needs motivation to act or someone whose actions summon motivation back from the dead. There's a difference between those who chase energy and those who generate it. The former is addicted to feeling ready. The latter is dangerous because they act even when they don't feel anything. They don't wait for motivation. They become the kind of person who moves forward regardless. And in doing so, they create momentum. And momentum is holy because once it begins, it bypasses emotion. It no longer depends on motivation. It feeds on identity. This is where you begin to separate yourself. You don't need more hype. You don't need more books, more playlists, more 5 a.m. gurus. You need to become the kind of person who does what they said they would do, whether or not they feel like it. And that begins by realizing this brutal truth. Motivation without discipline is just a feeling. It changes nothing until you decide to give it form, until you take that fire and build a furnace, until you stop being inspired and start being intentional, until you stop letting the day dictate who you are and begin to dictate who shows up. You don't need to be more motivated. You need to be more rooted. Because a tree that grows fast, but without roots, will fall with the first wind. But a tree that grows slow, steady, and with structure will stand for generations. Let them burn bright and vanish. You build your roots. Modern society has become addicted to the high of inspiration. Scroll your phone and you'll see it. Clips of millionaires preaching morning routines. Reels that promise to unlock your higher self in 15 seconds. Soundtracks paired with grand declarations about chasing dreams and never quitting. It's a full-blown spectacle of motivation. But like junk food for the soul, it feels good in the moment and leaves you empty an hour later. This is not guidance. This is emotional consumerism. We are being fed little bursts of artificial adrenaline, dopamine hits disguised as wisdom. And then we're left wondering why we still procrastinate, why we still quit on ourselves, why we still break promises to the person in the mirror. It's because society has taught us to worship motivation, but never to question its sustainability. Carl Jung didn't speak in sound bites. He didn't believe in quick fixes. He taught that the soul is complex, layered, contradictory, and that true transformation doesn't happen through inspiration, but through confrontation. You don't transform because you felt something one time. You transform because you stood still in the middle of your storm and refused to move until you understood it. But today, standing still is almost heretical. The culture screams move faster, chase more, hustle harder, never stop. We've replaced stillness with stimulation, presence with productivity, and reflection with reaction. Inspiration has become our drug, but like all drugs, the high fades, and when it does, we crash harder than before. We blame ourselves. We think we're not motivated enough. We start looking for another hit, another quote, another video, another guru, and so begins the tyranny of inspiration. It parades as empowerment, but it leaves us dependent. We become servants to our own emotional highs, and when the emotion fades, so does our action. That is not power. That is enslavement dressed in positivity. Jung understood that unless we bring the unconscious into consciousness, it will rule our lives, and we will call it fate. In modern terms, if you're not aware of how you've been conditioned to chase emotional spikes over inner alignment, you will forever be ruled by the feeling of motivation rather than the truth of your direction. You will confuse the rush of inspiration with the discipline of transformation. But these are not the same. Inspiration is a spark. Discipline is the architecture that turns it into light. Inspiration is the match. Discipline is the cathedral. And what most people don't realize is this: the more you chase inspiration, the weaker your core becomes. Because you're training your nervous system to require a certain feeling before taking action. You're conditioning your identity to believe that effort is only worthwhile when it's emotionally exciting. That is the death of mastery. That is the grave of your potential. The great artists, builders, leaders, and warriors of history were not men and women who waited to feel ready. They were people who understood that the path to greatness is paved in boredom, repetition, silence, and sacrifice. They rose not because they were constantly inspired, but because they were consistent even when uninspired. And here's the paradox: when you act consistently, you start to feel inspired more often, not because the emotion returns by magic, but because you become proud of who you are becoming. You stop needing external stimulation because your internal integrity starts to speak louder than any motivational video ever could. That is when you reclaim your power. When your mood no longer dictates your motion, when your energy is not rented from the outside, but generated from the inside. But to get there, you have to dethrone inspiration. You have to stop bowing to the cult of motivation and start building something deeper. Rituals, identity, and purpose that do not fluctuate with your feelings. Otherwise, you will keep living in emotional debt, always borrowing energy from others, always needing one more pep talk, one more post, one more reminder that you're capable. But here's the truth: no one tells you you don't need to feel capable. You just need to act like someone who is, because the body doesn't wait for the mind to believe. It follows what you do, and eventually, the mind catches up. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." That applies here more than ever. If your unconscious belief is that motivation must come first, then you will forever wait for permission from your feelings before you move. You'll live in cycles of hype and collapse. But if you shift that belief, if you make discipline the container and motivation the bonus, then everything changes. Because you are no longer chasing highs, you're building roots. You're becoming someone who can weather emotional storms because your values are deeper than your moods. And the most powerful humans on earth are not the most inspired. They are the most grounded. They are not lifted by fleeting excitement. They are held by a code, a way of life, a sacred rhythm. And that rhythm begins when you stop asking, "Do I feel like it?" and start declaring, "This is who I am. Therefore, this is what I do." That is freedom. Not the freedom to feel good all the time, but the freedom to act regardless of how you feel. It's the freedom of no longer being a slave to inspiration. It's the freedom of becoming someone who can build something eternal, even in the silence, even in the dark, even when no one is watching, because that's where character is forged. In the places the world cannot see, in the moments no one applauds, in the decisions that feel like nothing but build everything. There's a war inside you, not a loud, obvious battle, but a silent, ancient one. A war between the person you pretend to be and the one you truly are. Between the ideal you project and the shadow you hide. And every time you try to rise, that shadow fights back. Carl Jung called it the shadow self, the unconscious, repressed parts of our identity we refuse to look at. The lazy self, the angry self, the jealous self, the insecure self that whispers you're not good enough even when the world applauds. You don't need to look far to find your shadow. Just pay attention to what you judge in others. What triggers you? What you secretly envy? What you deny, suppress, or disown? That's your shadow speaking. And here's the truth. Most motivational content never dares to say your shadow is stronger than your motivation. You can feel inspired for a day, a week, even a month. But if you don't integrate the parts of yourself you've tried to bury, if you don't confront the darkness, that inspiration will collapse. Why? Because the shadow always sabotages what it hasn't been invited into. You'll make plans to rise, but your shadow will whisper doubt. You'll say, "This time is different." But your past self will drag you back with habits you never healed. You'll create goals based on the version of yourself you admire, but those goals will be dismantled by the parts of you that feel unworthy of them. That's not laziness. That's fragmentation. That's not lack of willpower. That's lack of integration. Jung warned us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. If you don't own your shadow, it will own your outcomes. You will find yourself stuck in loops you thought you escaped. You'll build progress and burn it down. You'll make promises and break them. You'll blame external circumstances, but deep down, you'll know it wasn't life that got in the way. It was you. More precisely, the you refuse to face. The shadow doesn't want you to rise, because your rise threatens its existence. But what Jung taught was not to destroy the shadow. He taught us to befriend it, to bring it to the table, to give it language and form and attention. Because when you integrate the shadow, you reclaim energy. You reclaim the parts of you that were once destructive and turn them into drive. Think about it. The part of you that's angry, it can become courage. The part of you that's avoidant, it can become awareness. The part of you that feels broken, it can become empathy. But none of that is possible when you pretend those parts don't exist. You cannot build discipline on a fractured foundation. And many people try. They push themselves with mantras and routines and habits, trying to outrun their own darkness. But the more they run, the more it controls them. Because what you suppress doesn't disappear. It waits. It sabotages silently. It shows up in your patterns, your burnout, your excuses. It waits until your motivation is weakest, and then it takes over. This is why the inner war must be faced, not once, but every day. Discipline is not just doing what you said you'd do. Discipline is becoming whole enough to not be torn apart by your own contradictions. It's learning to act from your center, not your wounds. And your center only emerges when you bring the shadow into the light. This is not comfortable work. It requires honesty that burns. It requires admitting that some of your suffering is self-created. It means acknowledging the part of you that wants to fail, so you can keep the familiar story alive that you're not enough, that you're doomed to repeat, that others have it easier. But every time you make a decision from that place, you deepen the fracture. Every time you act from guilt, from fear, from shame, you give the shadow more power, and slowly your identity erodes. You become a stranger to your own ambition, a hostage to habits that no longer serve you, but feel safe because they're familiar. This is why transformation is not a glow-up. It's not an aesthetic shift or a burst of confidence. Real transformation is a confrontation with everything inside you that resists it. It's ugly, it's raw, it's confusing, but it's holy. And Jung knew this. He taught that we are not meant to be perfect. We are meant to be whole. And wholeness is not found in the light alone. It is forged in the furnace of your own contradictions. You are not one self. You are many voices, many memories, many energies. And every time you ignore one, you lose power. But every time you include one, even the parts you hate, you grow, you expand, you become solid. And from that solidity comes a discipline that no feeling can shake. Because it's no longer about pretending to be good. It's about being real. And realness is the strongest force on earth. It doesn't fluctuate. It doesn't perform. It simply endures. You want to be disciplined? Start by being honest. Start by asking what part of me doesn't want this, and instead of fighting it, listen to it. Understand it. Include it, and then choose from your center to rise anyway. Not because you hate your shadow, but because you've made peace with it. And in that peace, you'll find power. Not the fragile power of hype, but the anchored power of alignment. And that, not motivation, is what changes everything. You don't act consistently because you don't know who you are. That's the truth most people avoid their whole lives. They mistake preference for purpose. They confuse moods with mission. They shape-shift through environments, both trying on roles like costumes, but never fully becoming the actor behind the mask. And because of that, they build habits without identity. But habits without identity are like bricks without mortar. They fall apart when pressure hits. Carl Jung believed that identity is not something we inherit. It is something we integrate, something we must consciously form through choice, awareness, and confrontation. Not a label, but a pattern of being that is coherent with our soul. Modern culture has flipped this completely. Today, you are what you feel. Feel like a winner. Then you are one. Feel productive. Then you're succeeding. But when you don't feel it, when you're empty, unsure, exhausted, lost, then the illusion crumbles. Because feeling is not being, emotion is not essence. Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But what does that mean, truly? It means you are not your job. You are not your titles, your income, your aesthetic, your curated online self. You are not even your thoughts. You are the one who observes all of these and chooses who you will be in the face of them. Identity begins not with what you want, but with what you repeatedly embody. If you want to become disciplined, don't just set goals, build rituals. If you want to become strong, don't just train. Anchor your self-worth in consistency, not performance. If you want to become a creator, don't just wait for inspiration. Create daily, especially when you don't feel like it. This is how identity crystallizes. Through decisions made in silence, through actions taken when no one is watching, through small moments of alignment that seem insignificant, but gradually become who you are. Because here's the paradox. You don't wait until you know who you are to take action. You become who you are through disciplined action. Most people think identity is discovered, but it's not. It's built, layer by layer, thought by thought, choice by choice. When you keep breaking your own promises, it's not just a failure of discipline. It's a crisis of identity. You are teaching your nervous system that your word has no weight. You are training yourself to believe that your vision is optional. And worst of all, you are reinforcing a false identity. The identity of someone who can't stick to things, never finishes, isn't consistent. The danger of this is not just behavioral, it's existential. Because once you believe you are undisciplined by nature, you stop trying to change it. You make it your personality. You become addicted to potential, always dreaming, never becoming. You wear the cloak of "I'm working on myself" forever, without ever actually stepping into the self you're supposed to be. But if you understood that identity is not fixed, if you realized that who you are is not a label, but a direction, then every disciplined action becomes an act of creation. You are not just building habits, you are becoming someone new. And here's the raw truth. You don't become disciplined by wanting to be disciplined. You become disciplined by acting like someone who already is, even when it feels like a lie. Especially then, that's not being fake, that's being future-focused. Your current self may not believe it yet, but your future self is watching, waiting to be born through every small decision you make today. Jung believed that when the inner self and the outer life are out of alignment, the soul suffers. And this is what so many are feeling today, a subtle kind of suffering, a quiet despair, not because they lack opportunity or knowledge, but because they're trying to live a disciplined life with an unstable identity. They're trying to build skyscrapers on sand. They shift with emotion, opinion, validation. They let the world decide who they are, and then wonder why they feel like imposters in their own life. But you were not meant to be a chameleon. You were meant to be a mountain, steady, unshaken, rooted. That kind of identity isn't given, it's forged. Forged in the fire of repetition, in the discipline of saying yes to the higher self and no to the easy path, in the quiet resolve to not abandon yourself even when the world forgets you. Because self-abandonment is the real cause of inconsistency. An identity, when fully formed, is the antidote. You don't need to feel like doing hard things. You just need to see yourself as someone who does, because once the identity is in place, the decision is already made. You no longer negotiate with your lesser impulses. You no longer argue with your excuses. You no longer wait for a mood to move. You move because it's who you are. You lift the weight. You write the page. You wake before the sun. Not because you feel inspired, but because you are no longer asking for permission from your feelings. You are aligned, and alignment, not emotion, is what gives your actions permanence. The day you stop saying, "I want to be consistent," and start saying, "I am a consistent person," everything shifts, because the soul responds not to what you dream, but to what you claim. An identity is claimed through discipline. Claim it now, not someday. Now, you've been told that willpower is the answer. Just push harder. Just resist more. Just fight your way through laziness, cravings, exhaustion, and self-doubt. And for a while, maybe that worked. Until it didn't. Until you reached the limit, not of your ambition, but of your biology. Because here's what they never told you. Willpower is not infinite. It's not a superpower that you either have or you don't. It's a resource, one that depletes every time you make a decision. Resist a temptation, suppress an emotion, or force yourself to act in contradiction with your inner state. And most people are trying to build an extraordinary life on the fragile foundation of a resource that was never meant to carry that weight. That's why it collapses. That's why you feel good on Monday and broken by Thursday. You didn't fail, your strategy did. Carl Jung didn't teach people to muscle through life. He taught people to integrate, to harmonize the conscious and the unconscious, to make peace between the forces within us, instead of letting them wage war inside our minds. Because the truth is this: your unconscious is stronger than your will. You may consciously want discipline, success, transformation. But if there's an unconscious belief that says you're not worthy, if there's an old story that says you always quit, if there's unresolved emotion tied to the idea of success or failure, then no amount of white-knuckling your way through the day will save you. Your unconscious will always pull you back to its baseline. That's not weakness. That's physics of the soul. You can't out-discipline your inner conflict. You can only resolve it. And this is where most self-help advice breaks down. It treats the human like a machine. It assumes that if you just try harder, you'll succeed. But you are not a machine. You are an ecosystem of beliefs, memories, emotions, wounds, and drives. Trying to overpower that with sheer willpower is like trying to hold back the ocean with your hands. Eventually, the tide will win. But what if the tide didn't have to be your enemy? What if the unconscious could be trained, reprogrammed, aligned, not fought? Jung believed this was the path of individuation, the process of becoming whole, not by rejecting the irrational parts of you, but by including them in your awareness. You see, willpower says, push harder. Wisdom says, understand deeper. Because if you understood why you sabotage, if you understood why you procrastinate, binge, scroll, avoid, you'd find that underneath each behavior is a need for comfort, a need for safety, a need to not feel pain, shame, or overwhelm. And when that need is not met consciously, it hijacks your behavior unconsciously. This is why self-discipline isn't just about saying no to cookies or yes to the gym. It's about saying yes to healing the part of you that needs the cookie to feel okay. It's about building a new relationship with effort, not as punishment, but as love, because discipline without love is tyranny, and willpower without healing is self-harm in disguise. We don't rise by force. We rise by integration, by understanding ourselves so well that effort becomes an act of alignment, not resistance. So what do you do when willpower runs out? You fall back on identity, you fall back on values, you fall back on systems, because those things don't depend on how you feel. They don't fluctuate with mood, energy, or stress. They are grounded, not in how much you want it in the moment, but in who you have decided to become. You don't brush your teeth because you're motivated. You do it because you've made it part of who you are. You don't need a TED Talk to convince you to shower. It's simply what you do. Why? Because there's no internal negotiation. And that's the key to real power. Eliminating negotiation. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not superheroes. They've just removed the option to quit. They've made discipline their default, not their emergency button. They don't rely on willpower. They rely on systems that support their identity. And when they fall, which they do, they don't spiral. They reset, because their default is not perfection. It's return. Jung would have called this the emergence of the self, the inner organizing principle that integrates all parts of the psyche, not the ego, which tries to control everything, but the deeper self, which creates harmony. When your actions come from that place, they're not brittle. They don't break under stress, because they're no longer built on pressure. They're built on presence. This is the shift from effort to embodiment, from trying to be someone to simply being them. So ask yourself, what if you stopped trying to stay motivated, and instead asked, what would someone who already lives like this do right now? Then do it. Not perfectly, not always cheerfully, but consistently, because the goal is not to feel powerful. It's to act from your power. And that power lives not in your will, it lives in your alignment. It lives in the moment you stop fighting your unconscious and start reprogramming it through love, truth, and repetition. It lives in the moment you stop seeing discipline as a battle and start seeing it as a bridge. The bridge between the life you imagine and the life you live. And that bridge was never meant to be crossed with willpower alone. It must be walked with wholeness, with clarity, with peace between your past and your purpose, because that's where your real strength lies, not in force, but in flow. Discipline is not punishment. It is not control. It is not deprivation. It is the physical embodiment of your identity, the ritualized expression of who you have chosen to become. And most people miss this. They think discipline is about rules, rigidity, restriction. But real discipline is freedom. Not the freedom to do whatever you feel like, but the freedom from being ruled by what you feel. Because let's face it, your feelings change. Hourly, daily, relentlessly. One moment you're on fire. The next, you're lost in your own doubt. One day, you want to conquer the world. The next, you can't even conquer the dishes in your sink. And if your actions are determined by your emotional weather, you will live in storms. But if your actions are rooted in identity, forged by discipline, then you are the weather system. You bring the storm. You bring the calm. You decide. This is where most people misunderstand discipline. They think it's something you use to force yourself to act. But real discipline isn't forced. It's fused with who you are. Carl Jung knew this. He believed that becoming whole wasn't about controlling your parts. It was about integrating them. When your conscious decisions and your unconscious patterns align, when your outer behavior reflects your inner truth, you no longer need willpower to stay consistent. You are consistent because the action is no longer separate from the self. This is what it means when we say discipline is identity made real. Look at someone who trains daily, someone who eats clean, writes consistently, builds relentlessly. They don't wake up every morning deciding whether or not to act. They've already decided who they are. And because they've made that identity sacred, discipline follows like gravity. It's not motivation. It's not adrenaline. It's embodiment. This is why habits only stick when they are attached to identity. If you say, "I'm trying to eat healthy," your brain still sees you as someone who eats unhealthy, just trying to do better. But if you say, "I'm a healthy person," and you truly believe it, then every meal becomes a ritual of alignment. This is the difference between trying to change your life from the outside in versus the inside out. The outside-in approach says, change your behavior, and your identity will follow. But the inside-out approach, the Jungian approach, says, claim your identity, and your behavior will follow. Because the psyche craves consistency. It wants to act in alignment with who it believes it is. So if you believe you're chaotic, weak, inconsistent, then even your best efforts will eventually collapse to match that belief. But if you believe you're disciplined, focused, roamed, and resilient, then even your worst days will bend toward your standard. It's not magic. It's mechanics of the mind. And you can use it right now. The next time you face resistance, don't ask, "Do I feel like it?" Ask, "What would a disciplined version of me do right now?" Then do that, even if it's small, even if it's messy, even if it's only 40% effort. Because here's the secret: disciplined people aren't perfect. They just act with integrity to their identity. More often than not, they act from who they've chosen to be, not from who they feel like in the moment. And over time, that builds trust. Not with others, with yourself. And that self-trust becomes the engine behind everything. Because once you trust yourself to follow through, you stop needing external validation. You stop waiting for the world to cheer you on. You don't need hype. You don't need applause. You don't even need the perfect plan. You just need to know I show up for myself. That's what builds momentum. And momentum is holy. Because once it starts moving, it stops depending on motivation. It starts generating identity. Every time you show up, even in the smallest way, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. And those votes add up. They form a pattern, a shape, a soul. This is why discipline is not a chore. It's a sacred ritual. A daily declaration that says, "This is who I am now." And every action aligned with that identity strengthens the signal. It becomes louder than your excuses, stronger than your fear, wider than your doubt. And eventually, discipline stops feeling like work because it's no longer separate from you. It's simply how you move through the world. Like breath, like heartbeat, like gravity. It becomes inevitable, but it starts small. It starts with one commitment, followed through even when no one is watching. One promise, kept, even when it doesn't feel exciting. One moment where you say yes to who you're becoming and no to who you used to be. That's the moment your identity shifts. not with a bang, but with a whisper, with the quiet power of a decision that echoes, you don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to decide, who am I becoming? Then, let every action you take become a sculpture chiseled from that vision. Because discipline isn't the enemy of freedom. It's the foundation of becoming, and becoming, not achievement, is the highest form of human fulfillment. There's a moment in every journey where things stop being exciting, the fire fades, the novelty wears off, and all you're left with is the silence. And the question, why am I doing this? This is where most people quit, not because they're weak, not because they're lazy, but because they never clarified the emotional truth beneath their ambition. They mistook motivation for meaning. They chased outcomes instead of understanding the internal why that fuels consistency. Carl Jung warned us people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. And this is precisely what happens when we refuse to ask the hard question, what do I actually want, and why do I fear it? You see, most people don't fail because they don't want it badly enough. They fail because they secretly fear what will happen if they get it. They fear that success will change them. That discipline will require too much, that people will expect more, that they'll lose comfort, identity, safety. So unconsciously, they sabotage. They create chaos. They get too busy. They burn out on purpose, not because they don't care, but because they never made peace with the cost of becoming who they said they wanted to be. That's self-betrayal, the silent kind. The kind that wears a smile on the outside, but trembles on the inside. The kind that hits snooze on your destiny and calls it balance. And it happens when your external goals are louder than your internal truth. Because you can say, I want to be fit. But if deep down you believe you're not worthy of attention, you'll skip workouts when you start making progress. You'll find excuses when people compliment your transformation because your outer results are exposing an inner identity that hasn't caught up. This is the tension that kills most dreams. It's not the discipline that's hard. It's the emotional misalignment underneath the discipline that creates suffering. Jung taught that the psyche seeks wholeness, but the ego seeks comfort. So the moment your evolution threatens your comfort, the ego panics. It pulls you back to the familiar, even if the familiar is pain, even if it means betraying your goals. Because emotional truth always wins over conscious intention, unless you bring that truth to light. So let's ask it directly. What are you afraid of? If you actually succeed, if you actually become disciplined, if you actually become the version of yourself you dream about, who might leave? What might break? What might you lose? That is the work, not just building habits, but excavating fears. Because without that, you're trying to drive forward with the brakes on, and no amount of willpower will fix that. But once you speak the truth, the spell breaks. You realize that much of your resistance wasn't laziness, it was fear of disconnection, fear of abandonment, fear of success, revealing your inadequacy, fear of change itself. And when you name the fear, you rob it of its power, because most fear isn't real. It's a story you inherited from your parents, your past, your peers, a story you told yourself to survive a season that no longer exists. But now, you're not surviving, you're building, and builders must confront the stories that no longer serve the structure. So tell the truth. Are you afraid of being powerful? Are you afraid of consistency, exposing the lies you've believed about yourself? Are you afraid that once you stop quitting, you'll have no excuse left? That's the raw edge most people never touch. But that's where freedom begins, not in feeling better, but in being brutally honest. Because once you stop betraying your emotional truth, you stop leaking energy. You stop living in inner conflict. You stop seeking distractions, because you finally come home to yourself. And in that place, Discipline is no longer a chore. It becomes devotion, not to perfection, but to integration, to holding both your fear and your future in the same hands, to knowing that some days you will want to run, you will want to disappear, you will want to break your own momentum just to feel safe again. But you won't, because you've made peace with the part of you that's scared, and you've chosen to love it without letting it lead. That's mastery, not the absence of fear, but the presence of clarity, not the erasure of self-doubt, but the refusal to let it write your story. So when the fire fades, ask not for more motivation. Ask for more honesty. Ask yourself, what have I been avoiding? What emotional truth have I not faced? Then sit with it, feel it, welcome it, and then move, not because you're trying to outrun the feeling, but because you've integrated it, you've faced it, and in doing so, you've reclaimed your power, power that was never lost, only buried under layers of false narratives. You are not broken. You are divided. And every act of discipline is an invitation to become whole again. So take that step. Keep your word, not to the world, to yourself, because that is where trust is rebuilt. And trust is the root system beneath every discipline that lasts. Repetition. To the modern mind, it feels like a prison. The same action, the same rhythm, day in, day out, unchanged, uncelebrated. But to the ancient soul, repetition is sacred. It is prayer in motion. It is memory passed through the body. It is how the unconscious learns what the conscious mind tries to force. Carl Jung knew this deeply. He didn't believe change came from intensity. He believed it came from integration. And integration comes through the quiet, consistent act of repeating what is true until your psyche begins to believe it. Because here's what you must understand. You don't rise because you did it once. You rise because you did it again, and again, and again. Not until it was perfect, but until it was part of you. We live in a culture obsessed with novelty, always chasing the next trick, the next tool, the next trend. But growth doesn't come from novelty. It comes from sacred repetition, and repetition, done consciously, becomes ritual. Ritual is not superstition. It is structure infused with meaning. And that's what discipline really is. Not just habit, but habit wrapped in identity and purpose. Every time you rise at the same hour, every time you return to the gym, every time you sit in front of the blank page and begin again, you are not just doing something, you are becoming someone. You are engraving your intention into your nervous system. You are reprogramming the internal code that once said, I'm not consistent, into a new signal that says, this is who I am now. That's the power of repetition. It bypasses the ego and speaks directly to the unconscious. And your unconscious, the driver behind nearly all of your behavior, does not learn through hype, it learns through pattern. And what is pattern, if not repetition given form? You don't need to feel like a disciplined person to become one. You need to act in alignment, repeatedly until the mirror catches up, because the mirror always lies at first. It reflects who you were, not who you're becoming. And that lag, that delay, is where most people quit. They do the right thing for a week, maybe two, and when the results don't come instantly, they stop. They believe it didn't work. But it did. It was working below the surface. It was planting seeds in places your mind cannot yet see. And those seeds require rhythm. Water, light, repetition. You want transformation? Then stop chasing intensity and start honoring rhythm. Start seeing your small, mundane actions as sacred steps toward becoming, because they are, Jung said, you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. And what you do consistently becomes who you are, inevitably. This is why your daily choices matter more than your dramatic moments. Anyone can have a breakthrough, but not everyone can carry that breakthrough into their calendar, and that's what matters. Not the moment you realized your potential, but the morning you showed up again, even after forgetting it, because repetition is redemption. Every time you return, you reclaim a part of yourself that was lost in distraction. Every time you practice your path, you polish your soul. It's not glamorous, but it's divine. It's not exciting, but it's eternal. Ask any great athlete, musician, artist, or monk. They don't rise because they were gifted. They rise because they repeated what mattered, even when it bored them, even when it hurt, even when no one clapped. They became dangerous, not because of talent, but because of devotion. And devotion isn't a mood. It's a decision, a vow, a daily yes to what you believe in, long after the feelings have faded. So ask yourself, what do I repeat every day? Because whatever you repeat, you're becoming, whether it's scrolling or stretching, complaining or creating, avoiding or acting. Ama, your future is already being shaped, not by what you dream about, but by what you do over and over and over again. That's the law. You become what you repeatedly do. And here's the beautiful thing. You can choose your repetition. You can create a rhythm that honors your becoming, a rhythm that reminds your soul of who it truly is, because your soul already knows. It doesn't need more motivation. It needs memory. The memory of your strength, the memory of your clarity, the memory of your mission before the world made you forget. And that memory is restored through movement, through rhythm, through sacred repetition. So don't despise the routine. Don't wait for variety to stay interested. Fall in love with the quiet, the daily, the ordinary, because that's where God hides. That's where greatness is buried. In the shadows of the same, in the echo of another step, another rep, another moment where you could have quit, but didn't. That's where you become unbreakable. And not just for a day, forever. We've romanticized transformation. We imagine it as this epic lightning strike, sudden, blinding, permanent. But real transformation is quiet. It's the slow laying of bricks, one by one, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. Not in grand gestures, but in steady rituals. Discipline, when stripped of the filters and fanfare, is deeply unglamorous. And that's exactly what makes it holy. You don't build a cathedral by dreaming of stained glass. You build it by showing up every morning, chiseling stone, stacking timber, aligning foundations, checking the plumb line. Again and again and again. Discipline is not about motivation. It's about building the temple of your life, brick by brick, long after the crowd has gone. It's not poetic, it's not dramatic, but it's sacred, because every brick laid in silence is a testament of self-respect. Every brick defies the voice that says, skip today, it doesn't matter. Every brick is an act of remembering your value, even when no one else sees it. Carl Jung warned that people don't become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. What does that mean here? It means that greatness is not made in moments of clarity. It's forged in moments of mundanity. When you're tired, when nothing's changing, when you feel like a fraud, when you wonder if it's all worth it, and yet you choose to lay the next brick anyway. That's when something shifts, not outside, but inside. Because action in the absence of reward is the purest form of power. It says, I am no longer a slave to results. I build because that's who I am. Most people never get there. They're addicted to emotional return on investment. If I do this, what do I get? But the disciplined don't build for applause. They build for alignment. They know the temple they are building isn't for the world to admire. It's a place where their soul can live in peace, where their values identity, woe, and action are in harmony, where their future self can walk barefoot without shame. And that temple is built one small action at a time. One morning walk instead of another hour scrolling. One chapter written instead of waiting for inspiration. One phone call made. One rep done. One task finished. Tiny choices, brick by brick. That's how you build a life that doesn't collapse under pressure. Because it wasn't inflated by emotion, it was reinforced by intention. And intention is the backbone of resilience. You see, there's a hidden danger in waiting for the big moment, the breakthrough, the flash of genius, the dramatic change. That mindset creates spiritual inflation. It feels big, but it's hollow. It cannot survive a hard day. But a life built from small, repeated actions, that's structural, that's enduring. That's the kind of life that survives failure, heartbreak, fatigue, betrayal, because it wasn't propped up by feelings. It was forged in fire. Your habits are bricks, your values are mortar, and your discipline is the hand that arranges them with care. So when the day comes that life shakes you, and it will, what stands won't be the things you posted, or the goals you shouted, or the promises you made when you were excited. What stands will be the temple you built in silence, the temple you never abandoned, even when it rained, even when the winds howled, even when everyone else built sandcastles of hype and called it success. You'll know the difference, because their castles will crumble, but your temple, your inner structure, will remain. And here's the secret. Even when you fail, even when you fall off track, the bricks you've laid are still there. Discipline doesn't erase your humanity. It absorbs it. It allows room for rest, for grief, for mistakes. But it doesn't allow surrender to chaos. Because the disciplined person doesn't just build, they repair, they return, they realign. This is what makes them different. Not their perfection, their pattern, and pattern creates permanence. You want results? Focus less on what you build today, and more on whether you will return to build again tomorrow. That's the game. That's the mission. To become someone the winds can't move, because your structure is deeper than your emotion, because your life is not a mood board, it's a temple, and the tools to build it are already in your hands. So use them. Lay the brick. Honor the craft. Don't chase the skyline. Focus on the stone. Because in the end, the skyline takes care of itself, but only if you've done the work that no one claps for. Brick by brick, hour by hour, choice by choice, until one day you stand back and you don't just see a life you built, you see a self you can finally trust to carry it. There is a shift that happens, subtle at first, then irreversible. A shift from chasing feelings to becoming someone who no longer needs to chase. It's not that motivation disappears, it simply stops leading the way. Because when discipline has become your nature, motivation becomes the echo, not the drumbeat. And in that shift, from feeling to embodiment, from emotion to essence, everything changes. Carl Jung believed the highest goal of life is not happiness, but wholeness. And you cannot be whole if you're constantly betraying the parts of you that act only when inspired. You become whole when action is no longer tied to emotion, but to alignment. This is what it means to evolve from someone who feels motivated to someone who is reliable. And reliability, in today's world, is radical. In a society that rewards reaction, you become the still one, the grounded one, the one who does not rise and fall with every wave of feeling, but who walks forward regardless of weather. This is not about detachment. This is about integrity. Because the most dangerous man or woman is not the loudest, not the most talented, not the most hyped. It's the one who keeps showing up after the feelings fade, the one who does what they said they would do, The one who no longer needs external fire because the flame within has been sealed, not in adrenaline, but in devotion. Motivation says, let's get excited. Discipline says, let's keep building. And when the two are fused, when the soul no longer divides the momentary feeling from the enduring truth, then you no longer live in reaction. You live in rhythm. You are no longer a victim of inspiration. You are the embodiment of intention. That's the final form. That's what we've been building toward this entire time. Not another motivational high, not a new burst of willpower, but a version of you that is no longer waiting, no longer hesitating, no longer fantasizing about becoming someone, but waking up as that someone, because that's what happens when motivation is fused with identity. You don't need to remind yourself anymore. You simply remember. You act without internal debate. You move without emotional bribery. You live not in pursuit, but in presence. The work is the reward. The rhythm is the reason, and what once felt like discipline now feels like alignment, now feels like peace. Because peace doesn't come from ease. It comes from knowing who you are and living accordingly. Jung taught that when the inner self and outer life match, the psyche heals, and that's what you've done. You've reconciled the part of you that only acted when inspired with the part of you that longed for more. You've stopped chasing identity through effort and started creating effort through identity. You've ended the war between feeling and doing. Now they dance, and the result? You no longer need motivation to act. You no longer need the fire because you are the fire. You've become the storm, the mountain, the furnace. And every step you take now is not fueled by hype, but by history, the memory of every small act that built this version of you. You don't owe your future to inspiration. You owe it to the decisions you made on the days you didn't feel like it. The mornings you rose in silence, the nights you worked without applause, the repetitions that no one counted, but that rewired your soul. And now, there is no going back. Because once you've tasted the freedom of no longer being ruled by feelings, you never again settle for the slavery of inconsistency. This is the essence of power. Not dominance, not ego, but presence. The presence of someone who has built a life and a self that does not depend on emotion to act. And from this place, everything becomes possible. You become the kind of person who inspires others, not with words, but with embodiment. You lead, not because you have followers, but because you followed through, and the world notices. Not all at once, but over time, in the stability of your presence, in the quiet certainty of your action, in the gravity of a person who no longer runs from who they were, and no longer doubts who they are. So here, at the end, there is no grand secret, only this: motivation without discipline is just a feeling. But when discipline becomes your nature, when it is born not from fear, but from clarity, when it is woven into your days like breath, like heartbeats, like ritual, then motivation becomes irrelevant. Because you are no longer hoping to become someone better, you are no longer trying to find yourself, you are simply honoring the self you've already chosen to be. And that is everything. Now go, not to chase it, to live it. If this message resonated with you, a like, a comment, or a share could help it reach someone who needs it. This is more than a video. It's an invitation. Don't just observe, step into the journey. Your awakening and transformation begin the moment you choose them. Subscribe now and walk it with us at Carl Jung Journey.